Got a 36 grit belt. Got a 320 grit belt. This here is at a 320 grit belt finish now. I contoured it with a 36 grit belt and then smoothed it out with a 320 grit J-Flex belt. And at the moment, it still has all the hard edges all along the sides. So I like to round all that out. And what I use is a piece of automotive DA paper, 180 grit. And it's just cheap paper I got off Amazon. And I fold it in half. And then I go to contouring on the edges, that is. Instead of you all watching me sand for 10-15 minutes on these handle scales, that's what I'm after right there. I don't know how well that shows up, but I do that all the way around. I have it all contoured, 180 grit on the edges. That's still 320, but now this butt end right here I'm going to use a piece of 400 grit and go ahead and put a 400 grit finish on the end right here, because once I get this done, I will be getting really close to where I paint it together. On G10 and micarta, I don't have the handle all the way finished out before I paint it together. I'm sure folks might do it where the handle's already finished, I don't know, but this is just how I go about doing it. Okay, I have it painted together now, and again, this flat is 320 grit, with the exception of wherever one of the pins are, I filed them flush, so I got some file marks around that. That's why I don't finish this on out. This along the edges is still 180 grit. I did this front end right here around the burlap to 400 on each side. So what I'm going to do now is I got a piece of G10 and some 400 grit paper here, and I'm going to sand the burlap dry on each side. I find that the burlap sands better and finishes better if you do it dry. So I'll be back when I have that done. Okay, I have the bolster on each side sanded 400 grit, and I'm now going to do 1000 grit just by hand. And I've wrapped a piece of painter's tape around the blade, that way I can get down next to it without scratching the blade. I also went over it with 2500, and now I'm ready to use 400 grit, my piece of G10, and I'm going to put water on this part of the G10 part of the handle, and I want to use this little block to make sure I keep these pins smooth. So when I get done sanding that, I'll be back. I have finished sanding the Ivory G10 with 400 grit, and I got around all the edges with 400 grit as well, and I am now going to sand it with 1000 grit. Okay, I just finished wet sanding it with 1000 grit. I am now going to wet sand it with 2500 grit, and then it will be ready to buff. Okay, I have it wet sanded up to 2500 grit. I have a soft buzzball wheel, and I'm going to use a little bit of carnauba wax. And there it is. That is the basics of how I do my Country Gentleman pattern handles. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and until next time, y'all take care.